The idea for the event was to express our solidarity with the strikers of Local 235 and 262 who carried the ball for all of us in this monumental struggle against American Axle and Dick Dowd, and against all the corporations in their efforts to crush auto workers and our standard of living.
Since we've been back in the plant, it's been with their children here. It's been really rough. It's been really, really rough. It's been tough. Management basically has been told to break us down, break our backs, break our morale, break our sense of even who we are. They've done a lot of roughhousing. They've done a lot of this. You can't, right now, if you go in a plant, you cannot talk to your coworker. It's against shop rules. You'll break a shop rule if you talk to each other. There are people who work on the same lines that have been working together for years, who know each other's children and parents, and how's your mom doing? It's just, you can't talk to each other. If they walk down the aisle and see you speaking to one another, you will get wrote up on shop rule and you will get put out. Basically, they're trying to get us out of there. They don't want us there anymore. They want us all to leave so that they can bring in the people at the lower wages. There have been so many people being put out on 30 days. We just got back. People are already out on 30 days without pay.
All the benefits that we had when we first came here in '94, talking about the new workforce here, when we came in '94, we were just receiving all the benefits that all the UAW members had fought for before, before we got here. It got real once we decided to say, okay, well, we're going to give you a couple proposals, they spit on them and gave it back, and we said, okay, we're going to go on strike, and that, it was 87 days later. And it was still, the contract that we had, the agreement that we had, still didn't, it was just so concessionary that it just hurt to the point. It hurts right now while I'm talking to you. And me being one of the negotiators in this whole thing, it was very, very painful to even bring it to my membership, to even say, okay, this is all we can get from this company. Else they're going to just take the job away.
Mr. Dowd, to slap us in the face, I went back, I was in the first group to go back. I went back on Tuesday on the skilled trades. So it was very few. It was Tuesday, Wednesday, they brought in more, Thursday, Friday. Next week came. By the end of the second week, Dick Dowd came through the plant with his security and henchmen, waving at the people, waving as he drove by, to just slap people in their faces, to say, here I am, I did this, you better not talk to each other.
As you can see, I am not Songbird Williams. She's tall, I'm short. I think you've about heard everything. What I wanted to say is the Metro Detroit AFL-CIO, representing 200,000 people, have supported the strikers and will continue to support them.
I'm not certain if you understand the significance of what happened here. On the inside of the tornado, sometimes in the eye, you can't see all the tumultuous activities that are going on around you. But let me say to you, from Michigan Welfare Rights, you have garnered the respect of workers across this nation. Let me say to you that you have earned the love of workers from coast to coast. Let me say to you, no time for that now. Let me say to you that you have secured a place in history, because it's the first time in a long time where workers stepped up and said, wait just a minute, we're not going to fight on paychecks. We're going to fight on generations of quality of work from here on out. We haven't seen that kind of fight in a long time. I want to say to you why, in our perspective, why you couldn't take this fight where you wanted to take it. I'm so mad at you all, I can beat you with a stick. Look at all this goddamn firepower in this room. Local 1, Local 6, Local 2000, Local 9046, Local 1,499,000. You represent everything we build in this place, everything we stand on in this country, everything that moves in this country, everything that flies in this country, most certainly everything that drives in this country. The reason we couldn't take this fight further is because we got all these separate shops, separate unions, separate opinions, separate activities. But everybody in this room is a mom or a dad, a resident, a citizen, and a human being. At some point, we ought to be able to figure out if you're born not a computer, we're all on the same page.
When you're out there on the lines, there is a camaraderie, a unity, a solidarity that builds. When we were out there for that rally a couple months ago where we shut down Holbrook, where the police came in mass to move us out of the driveways, that was like the closest thing I had felt to the actions we had during the newspaper strike. And that was like the most tremendous struggle I had ever been in up to that point in time. This was not 5 years like the newspaper strike. It was 87 days. But it was a heroic struggle. People were putting their jobs, their families on the line. And until the people of this country are willing to go by the hundreds of thousands, the millions into the streets together and fight this downward race to the bottom that we're in right now, because that's what we're in. You know, Dosh threatened to take this work to Mexico. Well, you know, at GM, we just negotiated a contract that got 2 tiers. Current workers get about $28, $29 an hour. New workers are going to start at 14. Well, guess what GM did? They went to Mexico and they said, hey, you Mexican workers, you got to be more competitive. Look what they're doing in the States. So the Mexican unions just negotiated a 2-tier wage. $4.50 for the current workers and $2.25 for new workers. That's what we're competing with. And we should be competing with workers in other countries or workers right here in the United States. We should be together. We should be fighting for each other. We should be out on the street, fighting for some kind of solidarity that will win all of us a quality of life that is befitting for every man, woman, and child, not only of this country, but of this world.